Hello and welcome to everyone joining us today for this AMM virtual presentation. And welcome to the 2020 HME Humanitarian Awards. I am Jason Karras, host of the AMM podcast, and I think this is our third virtual presentation. Hopefully this won't become a annual thing, but during these pandemic times, we're very glad to be able to connect with all of our members and associates. I'd like to start this awards ceremony by presenting Hank Blaney, the AMM president, and also Nancy Leonard, publisher of Healthcare Marketers Exchange. Hank, would you like to start us off by welcoming the guests?
Sure, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. As Jason says, we hope this doesn't become a thing for us. We hope to return to live events shortly. I've never been more proud of AMM as an industry, as well as our individual members. I think we deserve a pat on the back. I think that collectively, we did a good job. Our mission is to get that critical information, the data with integrity, to healthcare providers. And in the beginning of this pandemic, during COVID-19, I think our publishers, our editors, our technology platforms all stepped up and got that information out. And I'm very much looking forward to pivoting now to the next thing, where the elective surgery, the ophthalmologists, the opticians, they get information from us, and it's not all COVID-19 all the time.
Thanks, Hank. It has been a tough couple of months. You know, can you provide any status updates industry-wide?
Well, it has been a tough couple of months. I don't know what we're looking in the future, but in comparison to the last crisis, our industry has a lot of very experienced salespeople, a lot of very experienced publishers. When you compare it to the last crisis, 2008, 2009 Great Recession, that was a little bit of a different animal. I think now AMM, the individual members, have a bigger role to play because of the nature of this crisis. So it's affecting us differently. Plus, I think we're a little bit more experienced having gone through the 2008, 2009 crisis. So I think we're a little bit more well prepared as a group for this particular pandemic. And also, I'm looking forward to not being all COVID-19 all the time as we move forward to the other specialties.
Excellent. Can you provide an update on the work that AMM is doing and forging ahead with?
Yeah, I think the April 30th, we had a virtual meeting. And that panel of Tbwa from NEJM, Matt Holland from Helio, Frank Cox from PMI, James Akbari from Havas, and Dean Connolly of SSCG. That virtual meeting was really enlightening for me, really eye-opening. I learned a lot about budgets, where they were going to get cut, budgets where they were being added to. I learned a lot about print versus digital, as well as the different specialties. At that time, it was all COVID-19 all the time. So it was somewhat of a different, more challenging environment. I think Tbwa talked about the catchphrase, "I don't know," and sort of coined that on the April 30th virtual meeting. I'm looking forward to, in the summertime, late June, early July, having another virtual meeting, another panel, where we move from "I don't know" COVID-19 and into "I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I think." So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be June, late June or July. And then also we're going to have Bowling for Breast Cancer, Tuesday, September 15th. That'll be in New York on 44th Street, assuming New York City is open, assuming it's healthy for all of us, assuming that we can be healthy in self-distancing. We'll have that event Tuesday, September 15th. It's a good cause. And then in October, we'll go back to live events in New York City.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. Nancy, for those hi. For those who might not be familiar with Healthcare Marketers Exchange, why don't you tell us a little bit about your publication?
Oh, sure. HME is in its 29th year of publication. It's a monthly newsletter that goes out to 10,000 people in healthcare marketing. And our editorial focus is really the human side of pharma. It's a place to get to know each other, tell personal stories, whether it be on travel, love of our pets, which there's a lot of love of pets in our industry, hobbies, fitness, overcoming adversity, and most recently, COVID-19. I think Debbie Renner said it the best once. She said the exchange captures the hearts and souls of the people who make our industry so great. So many of our competitors are friends. There's such a strong sense of community in our industry. And even now, more than ever, the exchange provides a platform for people with COVID-19 to voice their situations at work, at home, to honor people that are in their family. So that's a little bit about the exchange.
Can you tell us a little bit what inspired you to recognize humanitarian efforts?
Well, I found through the years, I started out in the industry, there's so many giving people in the industry. And I found that I wanted to highlight the spirit of giving. So each year in November, I would have a Thanksgiving issue, which was around giving and what people did on charitable level. But I want to share it a little bit further and do an award, a humanitarian award for a company and a person. And I wanted this award to be not a self-serving award, an award where people from the heart do good. So I approached the AMM and asked them if I could do a presentation at one of their meetings of award winners. And they said, better yet, why don't you join our Nexus Awards? And I said, that's a fantastic idea. And so 5 years ago, we joined Nexus, and we've been collaborating together. I do a lot of the promotion for it. And last year we had it at the Yale Club, and it's been extremely successful. It's really looking at the best in the industry and recognizing them, whether it be on the sales end or whether it be humanitarian. And I just want to point out, kudos to Monique Mikowski for winning the Nexus this year. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's so deserving, and we'll be celebrating her hopefully soon. And we have through this medium, but maybe in Bowling for Breast Cancer, we can toast her.
Excellent. You know, in the midst of the pandemic and all that's going around us, what stood out to you about those in the medical media industry?
I guess the big thing is the collaboration between competitors and just people in general. It's moving so quickly. There's information by the hour, and the publishers have really to step up and get that information out to the frontline people. And at the exchange, we've done one issue already and one coming up on COVID and sharing the stories of people. In this issue coming up, we have 2 people who have suffered from COVID and are giving their plasma back. We've had people on the front lines, their kids, nurses, doctors. We've had also some interesting stories about people who have been helping their communities, whether it be making masks, giving to charity. So we have been a connection for people on a personal level. Somebody said to me that the exchange is a breath of fresh air. It's the positive in the industry. I try to keep that positive feel throughout the publication each month. Oops, I can't hear you. Whoops.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now for the judges, you know, thanks for joining us on the call, and thanks for your time. You know, judges, real quickly, you know, what stands out as being special about the Humanitarian Awards?
So, Jason, I would say that, you know, being able to recognize these individuals and organizations is huge, and it's definitely essential. And you can imagine the overall quality and effort that Nancy and the HME put into reviewing these applicants, vetting everyone, and then eventually naming the winners for that year. But if you pull back the curtain, and not everybody gets to see this, but what you see is really a rigorous review process, and it takes into consideration and account many different elements that play into this overall award ceremony and the overall review process. This isn't a pay to play. You hear about a lot of different sorts of ceremonies and different sort of award, you name it, that there's some sort of monetary involvement. This is strictly out of the bottom of everyone's heart, a true blue review, judging. We go back and forth. We'll touch on it in a bit, but Mario and I really spent weeks reviewing these applicants and being able to understand what Nancy and the HME go through to make this happen. So really quite a valuable experience to see firsthand.
And Mara, did you want to give a little background also?
Absolutely. I said it last year. I thought the greatest award we can give as an industry is something that is based on humanity. That is what our entire industry is based on. And I challenged everyone in the room that this should become the most cherished of awards that any of us could achieve. Now, many of us have received accolades in our career for our creative, certainly for our personal accomplishments. But here it's very, very different. It really speaks to both the person as well as the company. And we've also instituted a exceptional award. I don't know if it's something that we're going to issue every year from HME, but this year we're issuing a lifetime award that I think is certainly unprecedented. We've used that word a lot during this pandemic, but nowhere else do you see the good coming out of people. And this is definitely the high watermark in terms of achievement, in my opinion, as to what we all should be striving for in our day-to-day communications with each other, with our clients. And we need to really, really think about why we're here and what we're trying to accomplish, not only on the business side of things, but on life. I think if there's anything that this time has taught us, it's really to value the things that we value the most. And I think Nancy said it best. It's the relationships, it's the connections, but it's also the celebration of the human spirit and the human condition. That's what HME Exchange has continued to do, and these humanitarian awards are truly the embodiment of them.
Thanks to the judges for your work. Let's go back to Nancy and start the introduction of this year's honorees.
Sure. I'd like to present Tbwa World Health with the 5th Annual HME Humanitarian Award. Accepting is Robin Shapiro, CEO of Tbwa Worldwide. The agency runs on 3 core values: be authentic, do good, and raise hell. The do good value encourages all employees to be involved in charitable efforts by giving them a charity day each year to fulfill this mission. This translates into 2,500 hours of company-supported community service every year, including helping the poor, volunteering at hospitals, participating in walks and runs to raise money for disease and prevention and cures. And the agency has also developed, which I find this very interesting, to support inclusion, diversity, women's rights, and a program that helps people adapt to the returning to the workforce. It is my great honor to present Robin Shapiro with the Tbwa Worldwide for the HME Humanitarian Company Award.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you, everybody. That's nice. Thank you. I did prepare a few remarks just because, oh, hi, Andy. I did prepare a few remarks because I do want to recognize the individuals who are really making a difference at the agency. So forgive me if I look a little bit into a few notes that I prepared. First off, I want to say thank you to Nancy and everyone here who had a part in electing us as the recipient this year. We are so honored. And to your point, this is the most prestigious award that we think could exist because it really does celebrate humanity in what we do. One of the things that I am most proud of as CEO is being in a position to build our agency culture with within Tbwa World Health, which, as you referred to, is really the heart of which is based around our 3 values: do good, be authentic, and raise hell. And as part of living our values, we encourage every single employee to be the change they want to see in the world. So that means we do a lot of good. And we're particularly focused in recent years on diversity and inclusion, with the goal of creating a first-class employee experience for all agency team members of all races, ethnicities, sexual orientations, and gender identities, and encouraging those around us to embrace that same mentality. So I want to mention a few initiatives today because I really do want to recognize the people behind these efforts, but it's by no means an exhaustive list. First, I want to say thank you to Olivia Nugent and Karina Salinas, who courageously stepped forward to create the Diversa team, which is a homegrown team that has now grown to over 50 in 7 of our offices. They've made great strides in promoting inclusion in every aspect of our work, from how we hire to how we celebrate diversity in the agency every day. Thank you to Brian Gaffin, Wally Holloway, and Walter Gear for being the heart and the brains behind our hashtag Black Health Now initiative. The purpose of this campaign is to bring light to the racial disparities that exist in our healthcare system, which have only been further amplified by the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you to Lynn Rashan and Kristen Gingaro for spearheading our returnships program, which Nancy alluded to. It's a 12-week paid learning and development program aimed at getting people who have taken a leave of absence for whatever reason back into the work world. Women's health and female empowerment are major themes for us as well. So I'd like to thank Kate Knaus and Mika Van Skoyak for standing up our FEM, Female Empowered Medicine business unit, and 4 important initiatives within it, such as our social campaign Beyond the Pink Ribbon, which tackled unanswered questions in breast cancer awareness. Thanks to Gina Pentozzi and Britt Pickenheim, who've created our Do Good Period drive, which collected feminine hygiene products and assembled personal kits for women in Chicago who are experiencing period poverty. Thanks to Jeff Butler for leading our longstanding involvement with LGBTQ initiatives such as Omnicom's Open Pride campaign. Phil Dalton for leading our AHA and Wall Street Run-In Heart Walk to raise money and awareness for American Heart Association. Thanks to Dick Dunford and the London team for holding a Warm Wishes coat drive in which they collected and hand-delivered warm coats to people in need as an alternative to sending holiday cards. And I've just named a dozen people or more, but there's really every employee in the agency is engaged in community giving and service. And we are trying to find ways to make a difference in the lives of everyone at the agency as well as those around us. So through initiatives large and small, I'm proud to be recognized, and I'm proud to have the people at the agency recognized. And also congratulations to Heather. We are so privileged to work in this business, and thank you so much for honoring us.
Thank you, Robin. Congratulations again. I'd like to present the 2nd award to Heather Luciana from Elsevier, named to Publishers Weekly Star Watch, which recognizes innovators and motivators in the publishing community. Heather was able to identify a significant gap in the learning curriculum of inner city children. Oftentimes, children in these schools cannot find themselves in the stories they read. The stories may not represent their communities or align with their personal experiences. Heather has taken upon herself to support literacy in these schools by determining ways for students of all backgrounds to more closely connect with the stories studied in their classrooms, in turn promoting a strong desire to read and learn. I'm honored to present the 5th Annual Humanitarian Award for Individual to Heather Luciano for outstanding effort to champion literacy both locally and globally.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nancy. And thank you, Hank, and everyone else at AAM and HME who have been involved in recognizing everyone for these awards. I think has been mentioned already. I am really proud to be recognized among this group, and it really speaks to the spirit of our industry. We all have these grand missions of advancing health, advancing science, and it's great to see so many people who are active in really advancing these missions, both on the individual level, a team level, and organizational level throughout our industry. To what Nancy was speaking of with my involvement in literacy in New York City, I had the opportunity to co-chair a nonprofit board for a couple of years that is involved in literacy in public schools, and really get that hands-on experience in classrooms with students of all ability levels and age range to inspire them to love reading. That was really the mission of that organization. And I think that lifelong love of reading is something that, brings us to where we are in our careers. It's something that carries through in pretty much every success that you have in your life, is just to be inspired by knowledge, information, and being able to take your education into your own hands. So that work was, although outside of my day job at Elsevier as a publisher, I was able to bring a lot of that experience into the organization at Elsevier, which is something I'm also really grateful for, because they gave the opportunity for us to champion a lot of these nonprofit and charitable causes within the organization. So I've championed those at the organization, mobilized volunteers to get involved in various causes like this. I've had the chance through Elsevier to travel to Kenya, Cambodia, doing this kind of work, whether with children or also at the research level. So I really have my organization to thank, and all my wonderful colleagues and manager who've supported this kind of work, and me having an outlet really in my day job to continue to support these causes. So thank you so much for recognizing me, and I'm really honored to be among this group. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Heather.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy for you. Our final award is the Lifetime Award for Community Impact, which goes to RJ Lewis of eHealthcare Solutions. Our judges wanted to honor RJ for a lifetime of dedication to hundreds of community youth and international projects through the Rotary Club and the Boys and Girls Club of Mercer County. RJ's most recent mission is creating an after-school program that teaches entrepreneurism and financial literacy to the disadvantaged children, helping them to envision a brighter future. It is my honor to present the Lifetime Award for Community Impact to RJ Lewis.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Thank you very much. Thanks to you and your publication for doing this. I think it's remarkable that you take this on, and it's very much appreciated to be recognized. I don't think it's why anyone on the phone does this type of work, but it is nice that we recognize it when it happens. This is the wonderful plaque that Nancy sent me. Thank you so much for that. Thanks to Hank and the AMM for hosting the event, and thank you to the judges, and most of all, thanks to everyone in our industry who has participated in this fundraising effort. My co-chair and I, a gentleman by the name of Bill Sheehy, who I've known for 15 plus years from my Rotary Club, got together and we decided to help the Boys and Girls Club with a financial literacy and entrepreneurship program. Entrepreneurship being very close to me, and financial literacy being very close to Bill as a financial planner. We recognize that the underserved in our community, often financial literacy is one of the biggest weaknesses for them to really take it to that next level of success. And if they graduate high school without some financial literacy skills, they really start at a big disadvantage. So we organized a run. We've done it for 3 years. I'm hoping that this November we'll all be able to gather and do things like group runs again. And it's a half marathon, but we have a run for all skill levels, including a 5K and a 1 mile fun run as well. So we have different options for running, and we've raised On average, over those 3 years, we've raised a little over $150,000 a year. So we're just shy of about $500,000 that we've raised for this program. It's since expanded into a college access program to help these kids actually get through college. And it's a multi-year program where they get scholarships over time. And so this is an ongoing effort for quite some time because we're making a commitment to these kids to keep it going. It's amazing how a little bit of a boost can give somebody a real leg up. I've often heard Warren Buffett attribute his success to something that he calls the genetic lottery. He says, you know, I'm very fortunate, as most of the folks on this call are, in that we were born into the greatest country on earth, where there's opportunity in front of all of us. If you also happen to be born to two good parents who did right by you in the parenting realm, you're another leg up. And unfortunately, we still have some disparities that have to do with what your gender was and what your skin color was. As a society, we're trying to overcome those every single day, but being able to help those who were maybe not born into the best situation in terms of their parents or their neighborhood, giving them an opportunity to educate themselves and really pull themselves out of that situation, it just feels really good. And the support we've had from the industry has been overwhelming. So thank you so very much for that. Everyone on the call is welcome to run with us in November. If you're going to do the long one, you really need to start training now. But there's really, like I said, a race for everybody, including a 1 mile fun run / walk. Plenty of people walk it. It's about the camaraderie, getting everybody out and raising money for the cause. My father ran a special ed school, and he had a plaque over the door, which I love, and it relates in many ways to these types of charitable efforts that I think everyone is doing. And congratulations to the other winners on what you're doing. But the plaque over the wall said, "It's better to build children than to repair men." And I think it's very true. You can impact a life in an amazing way if you start early enough. And that's what the Boys and Girls Club does. They've got a remarkable success rate when it comes to high school graduation rates, even college graduation rates, compared to the kids that don't enter their programs but are from the same neighborhoods. So we're really putting our effort and our fundraising efforts behind an organization that knows how to get results, most importantly. So there's a lot of potential in this program. We hope to keep it going for a long time. And I just want to thank everyone for the support we've had. And anyone at all is welcome to join us in the effort. We encourage it. Hopefully by November, we'll be running again. Thank you.
Congratulations again, RJ.
Yes, congratulations to all the honorees, to the judges, to Nancy for these wonderful awards. Nancy, any final comments before we get moving?
Yes, I just want to mention the nominees because there were so many important individuals that did so much for charity. Ann Beck from SSCG, Brandon Buttery from _ Marketing, Robert Fasulo from Takeda Pharmaceuticals, Carly Cooper from CMI, Kerry Sevlove from SSCG, Sean Spears from EZI, and Closer Look and FCB Health Network. Truly, you are all winners in our book. I also want to thank the AMM for hosting this event, including Todd and Hank, as well as our moderator, Jason. I also want to thank the judges, Mario and Ryan. They spent a lot of time picking the winners and just a lot of time in general. And we became friends over it. And I love our relationship now. It's wonderful. Congratulations to the winners and nominees. More than ever, we need to step up and play our part in bettering humanity. We all need to work together. Finally, I'd like to thank all who tuned in. I know I'm inspired to go out and do good in the world. And be well, my friends, and stay strong. Till we meet in person.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Hank, final thoughts?
This was a breath of fresh air. It was really wonderful to get together as an industry and not talk about COVID-19 for a half hour. So congratulations to our winners. We'll get together soon to celebrate our winners, celebrate humanity. As Mario says, this pandemic has taught us to value the things we value the most. And in closing, finally, I look forward to getting together with you, RJ, and I'll do the 5K run.
Excellent. Thanks everybody for your time.
That's awesome, Hank. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks everybody for your time. Have a great day. Stay safe. And again, hopefully we'll all be back to somewhat normal soon.